cave, sick of the dulling. Spreadsheet chains wrap around my brain while the green candlesticks calling my name. The coffee's burned and my soul's decaying, but the market bells, they keep on playing. I see tickers in my dreams at night, like a prophet in the flicker of candlelight. I don't want love, I don't want that life. She don't see the gold in a blood red knife. Forget that 9 to 5, forget the fake romance. I'm swinging with the tickers in a money trance. She said I'm lost, but I'm mapped in momentum, moving like McD, crossing through the system. I ain't a suit, I'm a signaling noise, playing breakouts like Hendrix played with toys. Fed talking hawkish, but I fly like doves, popping off stops like I'm dodging the gloves. Liquidity's my rhythm, I'm trading the tide, while a shallow love just shorted my pride. I don't want her calls, I don't want her texts. I'm calling out plays while she's talking exes. Forget her tears, I'm charting fate. Only thing I love is that opening gate. Resistance whispers through electric vines. RSI bleeds like a love decline. I'm scalping pain off a moving trend. She broke my heart, but I still ascend. They want me numb, stuck in gray routine, but I see green in the in-between. While they eating lunch, I'm eating risk. 1,000 feels that just fucking make me sick. I don't need no queen, I don't need no crown. Just give me that shot and I'll burn it down. Forget her love, forget that wage. Only thing I crave is that sweet green pay. All I wanna do is trade out the world and ride the wave.
Oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, my little huevos rancheros. We are back at it again, Daniel. It is a beautiful Tuesday, July the 8th, and this will go back in the history books. I think historians are going to write about the fact that I got this brand new shirt today. I don't know if I've ever owned an oversized XL purple shirt before, but, you know, new year, new me. You know, you can't really... I think life is nothing but a series of challenges time and time again. And to really live life, you have to keep challenging yourself. And going into this particular event, I really never knew if I could be the person rocking an oversized purple tee. But here we are. And damn, like I know sometimes I'm humble here and I'm like, I don't deserve the award of being the best looking financial influencer. But in all reality, it's second to none, dude. This, like, I might as well go on a fucking runway after this one. I might as well sign up for the second Derelict campaign because, folks, anyone else who even throws their hat into the arena, guys, girls, and everything in between, like, I just feel so bad for them. I legitimately feel so bad for them. Anyone else trying to, like, am I the best trader? No. Am I the best entertainer? No. Am I the best speaker? No. Do I have the best jokes? No. But golly gee willikers, if I am not just the best looking person on this entire platform, shit, man. Shit. Yo, dude, you look homeless. Well, that's mean, and that's not the energy I wanted to start today off with. Matt looks barely awake. I actually feel phenomenal today. Do you know how many hours of sleep I got? I feel like this is actually the highest energy I've had in a while. I think what you mean to say, Kathy, is that you're super jealous that I have a golden brown tan and you don't. So I think really what it is your jealousy shining through. And that's just because I was nothing but a solar panel over the holiday weekend. So I get it. Like I get that sometimes, like a little kitten, when backed into a corner, we can all lash out at each other. But remember, we're all on the same team here. We're all on the same team here. You look like you were chewed up by a hippo. Not this again. No, not this again. Not the hippo. Not the hippo accusations. No, seriously, I wasn't. I promise. I promise I wasn't chewed up by a hippo. Folks, here's the plan. It's a Tuesday. Yesterday, to kick off, I mean, I think the market was still hungover yesterday. I don't think the market even realized that it was supposed to go back to work. It was a hangover day after hitting an all-time high on Thursday to go into the weekend. We had a bit of profit taking, and we definitively know it was profit taking not only from the amount of call selling, but also from the drop really in implied vol. So I think things got into a little bit of a pause period, awaiting what this whole tariff letter thing was. I believe there's 14 countries that Trump wrote letters to. The first two were the impactful two. It was Japan followed by South Korea. So when that came out, people were like, yo, what? 25%? You sure about that? And then Japan kind of, I don't know, publicly admitted their dismay for this recent decision. So that kind of carried some awkwardness into market close. And now kind of we're wondering if we're back on it in pre-market trading. We're getting a little bit of a pop, but I think what's going to be more interesting is really how the market reacts to the option structure dynamics. So Captain Condor is back, about 13.5 thousand contracts. They have a call credit spread up top. They have a put credit spread down below. Right now, that is creating guardrails for the day. The odds of us breaking it, not so high, but if we do break it, that's where it could be exciting. So as of now, my highest probability prediction, as in terms of my highest probability pathway for the day, is a grind up to the upper end of Captain Condor. Then we get smacked, and that's kind of the play of the day. Of course, anything could happen because you never know when we're going to get a headline, a breakout, a breakdown, this, that, the other thing. But in terms of probability pathways, if the market path today was a root system and every single different pathway had a different probability associated with it, I would argue that the highest probability pathway is a bit of a grind to the upper end of the Captain Condor play, the call credit spread, which is at 6260, and then from there a little bit more profit taken and kind of quiet into tomorrow, where maybe things get a little bit more exciting due to some vol expiration, but overall we're going to see how the structure repairs. Another thing we could look at, the market internals. The big players, lots of selling yesterday. That's a secondary piece of information suggesting that it was just a ton of profit taking. So it's more of, are they going to reload and keep us going into the July OPEX? We know we have some crazy things coming down the pipeline in the second half of July. Obviously, that could be the fuel we need to keep this party alive, or it could actually completely invert things. Obviously, I have no crystal ball. There's no sense in just like, this is my prediction, this is what's going to happen. Remember, the market is an emotionless organism. It's just a game of odds and probabilities, and where basically the big players are stacked up. So I get it. I get that sometimes you guys come to this show and you look at me, and because I'm a fucking hardcore 11 out of 10, you might be like, oh, well, if a guy that good looking is saying something, it must be gospel. But no, remember, in the world of the market, it's all just distributed probabilities. That's all this is. We look for high probability, high payoff situations. They don't always happen. Sometimes you find low probability, massive payoffs, or sometimes you get completely destroyed by high probability, low payoffs, and it doesn't happen anyway. It's just a game of odds. No one in this world, and I'm even counting Nancy Pelosi, can definitively tell you where things are going. That's like, I get it. She's going to be right a lot, and she'll be right upper 90% of the time, but no one in this game is getting 100%. It's just impossible. There's too many unknown variables. You don't know if a random person is going to fat finger. You don't know if a high frequency trading system is going to go bust. You don't know if retail is all going to get behind one stock. What's the one popping off this morning? Oklo. You don't know if all of retail, if it's going to be just a cultural phenomena. There's too many unknown things that it's effectively randomness, especially in the short term. So I think that does a good job at setting like the framework for the day. There's a couple of things I want to get into just because I know we have enough of the conspiracy nuts in here, myself included. I want to get into the biggest conspiracy story really of the modern era of it's just some drama going around with the Epstein list, and even me saying that's probably going to get me demonetized on YouTube today. Whatever, it is what it is. Then I want to give you a quick review of what's going on with the trade war. I want to talk a little bit about individual equities. Then the bell's going to go dingity ding ding ding. Ideally, I make a shitload of money right out of the gate, and then I don't know, spend the rest of the day as a solar panel on my patio. So I mean, that's the plan. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that is what I am attempting to do. Is Matt Mamdani being called out by Sequoia Capital? Is Matt Mamdani? What? I think Sean McGuire is. They're asking people, left-leaning people don't like his recent commentary. But Matt Mamdani, I think you're just making that name up. Unless you're saying that I am some socialist New York City mayor hopeful, which would be crazy because I don't want to be the mayor. I also don't agree at all really with socialism. And also, I just don't like that alliteration. Matt Mamdani. That's too many M's in one name. But hey, that's just my own opinion. All right, very quickly before we get rocking, a shout out to Apex. Apex is today's stream sponsor. If you use that code GOONIE, GOONIE, will make it dirt cheap for you to do a test. And I just want to let you know, this is the final day. 80% off. You have 16 hours left. This is the final day. You could take the test on a 50K account for like $33. Like I said, dirt cheap, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Make sure to use that code GOONIE, because if not, you're not going to get that 80% off. You're going to have to pay 100%. And why would you pay 100% when you could only pay 20%? That feels like it's a lot better math, but hey, you do you. Like I said, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. S&P 500 futures rebound from sell-off as investors bet Trump's tariffs will end up lower than threatened. So it's all in this weird game of initially we had these deadlines, then the can got kicked down to July 9th. Now it's August 1st, but in the meantime, he's being a little bit more threatening while also simultaneously saying you're going to have more time. So it's a bit awkward depending on how this is going to break. And I did read one post on X yesterday that made me a bit worried. What if this is something we have to deal with for the entire administration? Like for a bit there, it's like, okay, April, Rose Garden, are they going to come to an agreement? Okay, nope, they have till the end of April, but that was pretty quick. So now they have to July, and now we're going to August. Are we in some sort of like weird hell future where like, what if this is what we have to pay attention to for 4 years? Like, I don't know if I'm definitely going to be gray and withered by the time, if that were to happen, if this is our lives for the next 3.5 years of just always talking about trade wars, dude, I'm really hoping that this August deadline is the deadline, because I can't imagine I read that and it was a thought that never crossed my mind. And I was like, oh, fuck. Okay. That's something scary to consider. But anyway, just to show you where we're at in pre-market trading, slightly green, right on top of the closing value for the SPY. Tech sector is doing even better. Nvidia is looking good. Bitcoin's looking good. Actually, coin was looking pretty good as well. Palantir had a great day yesterday. It's actually having a bit of a continuation right now. So there are some things that, even though we had a bit of an overall falter yesterday, there are certain names that are looking pretty good. So first of all, Bitcoin is looking good. Coin is looking good. Palantir is looking good. Nvidia is looking good. Avago is looking good. And then the final one that I think is outperforming the recent market is actually Oklo. So those are all ones, especially if you're leaning on the bullish side, you might want to be paying attention to for just a little bit of a slight overperformance, just because they all really did hold up well yesterday, even though the SPY kind of took a hit. SPY down 0.75, Q's down 0.75. Obviously, we might have a turnaround Tuesday today. So these are all things in the short term, obviously, that are at least catching my eye. Very quickly, just to be as honest as I can. Nope, don't look at that. Stop looking at that. Look at this. I did take a position really early this morning at 7:25. I was looking good. I was looking bad. I was looking good. I was looking bad. I'm back to now looking completely normal. I just want to be honest. I got in that position. This is my first trade of the day. I have not made money. I have not lost money. It's an unrealized position, and I've been in it for almost 2 hours. I am looking for this to all the way maybe up to 67. That would be that nice $300 return. The reason I took this was I'm I'm trying to get used to this new tool that I'm just trying to figure out if I like it, if I don't like it. This is called Bookmap. So if any of you in here use Bookmap, like Bookmap, have any hot, quick tips and tricks on how to use it most, I guess, most efficiently, most profitably, let me know. Reach out to me. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. Shoot me a DM on Twitter. I would love to get your thoughts. Like I said, this is my first day looking at it. I took that trade because I was just trying to familiarize myself with the tool. But what it does is it gives you the DOM, the depth of market, so I can see the sitting sell orders and see the sitting buy orders, and that's what the colorization is from. So like as it gets darker and darker and darker, like you could see right above at 22959, there's a lot of sitting sell orders here. And then I guess, well, see how that's changing like so quickly. It's literally just sitting sell orders, sitting buy orders, and then right here it's just marking out the current bid and ask. And then over here on the right, you get an idea of the volume profile for the day. So it does seem like there's a volume node right where we're at 22948, something like that. But anyway, that's like my 1 day knowledge on the subject. I could see that there's actually quite an aggressive amount of selling right here at 50. Actually, so to my understanding, as it's getting darker and darker on top, that's more sitting sell orders coming in. So I would love for these buyers. So anyway, I was trying to like kind of get a bit more used to it, trying to figure out what I do or don't like. And I was trying to, I don't know, take advantage of something I thought I saw, and I can't say it didn't work for me. It didn't really necessarily work against me. I guess I should have just been patient and gone long somewhere in here because I would have already been out of the position. But anyway, just wanted to be transparent and forthcoming with all of you that I did already take a trade of the day. I haven't closed it out, and hopefully, ideally, I wanted to be done before the even market opened, but whatever. It is where it is. All right, first thing I want to chit chat with all of you guys about, just because I like to get the chat spun up really early in the morning. DOJ says there is no Epstein client list as it backs off promised releases. Top officials now say they see no reason to publicly share more information from the investigation into the disgraced financier and offender. What do you think? What's the vibes? Do you think this is the truth? Do you think it was used as a political ploy to get votes and be like, yeah, we're going to release it, and it never existed? Do you think at the time that they said it, it did exist? Since then, it's been destroyed. So this is technically, at no point did they lie. Maybe it did exist. Maybe they were going to give it out. Maybe it got destroyed, and now it doesn't exist. They're just saying it does not exist now. Or do you think this is all just, nope, they're lying. Lying. Their pants are on fire. You better call a local fireman and put it out, because is it a massive cover-up? Is it a massive cover-up? Well, what's interesting, and I guess I know there are people who support Trump on YouTube, but I know more Rumble viewers support Trump. A big aspect of what Trump ran on in his campaign was, I'm going to release the Epstein list. I'm going to cut down the deficit. Those are two major things that he promised, and now it's going the other way. The deficit's going to increase with the big, beautiful bill. Apparently, we're never going to get the Epstein list. I guess you could say another thing he ran on was border crossings, and border crossings are practically negative at this point. So he did really deliver on that. But I'm just saying two of the aspects were big. And I'm just like, I'm not talking just for like the conservatives. I'm talking for the hardcore Trump supporters. Like, this has to make you feel some sort of like way. I doubt this is under Trump's direction. Dude, he's literally the president of the United States. I think his opinion and thoughts are going to outweigh anyone below him. Pam Bondi needs to go. Once again, he's in control. He's driving this one, folks. He is driving this one. Anyway, this is like the big news if you missed it, that they're basically saying, nope, he did in fact unalive himself. There is no list, and we're never going to talk about it again. And they obviously got grilled at on this subject matter yesterday in the White House press briefing.
That's transparency.
Follow up on that,
Sure.
Caroline. Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
I've got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
That's
Yes,
awkward.
she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat, which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction in United States history. Their emphasis on violent crime and locking up violent criminals has led to the arrest of 14,000 violent criminals. That's a 62% increase from the same time period last year. So this Attorney General and the FBI Director are committed to putting bad people behind bars where they belong. They promised an exhaustive review. That's what they did. For any further details, I would refer you to the Department of Justice.
So feels like a little bit of the old bait and switch. Even CoffeeZilla is now on this one. 1 minute is missing from the Epstein security footage. So it'd be like one thing if they just like kind of released and said, hey, we don't have anything. But people are already pointing out how strange this is. So right here, you could see it's 11:58:57. It misses an entire minute right there. It went from 58 to midnight. And is it maybe just a technical error? Of course, there's a non-0% chance that it could be that. But I have to admit, that does seem pretty freaking crazy. And then, of course, my favorite part of the internet is how when you have any of this stuff, it very quickly becomes a meme. Right here, breaking the missing minute from the Epstein security cameras footage has been leaked, obviously putting on Clinton. It's a joke. Obviously, this is from a parody account. But hey, as crazy as things are, you have two options. You could either freak out and be pissed off about it, or you could be a little bit mentally healthier and laugh and just enjoy all of the absolute internet trolling that is going on. So that's the hot political conspiracy drama of the day. We should probably pivot it a little bit back to what's going on in the economy and the old stock market. Trump issues new tariff rates still open to negotiation. So this was the hot economic news of yesterday. Basically, by the end of the day, 14 different countries got letters from Trump about the current state of their tariffs. The big one was Japan, and we're going to get into that in 1 second.
I have the signed letters that went out to both South Korea and Japan today, and there will be approximately 12 other countries that will receive notifications and letters directly from the President of the United States. And weeks ago, I stood at this podium and I told all of you that the President was going to create tailor-made trade plans for each and every country on this planet. And that's what this administration continues to be focused on. The President will also sign an executive order today delaying the July 9th deadline to August 1st. So the reciprocal tariff rate or these new rates that will be provided in this correspondence to these foreign leaders will be going out the door within the next month, or deals will be made. And those countries continue to negotiate with the United States. We've seen a lot of positive developments.
Every single one, if you want to read them yourself. 14 individual companies with the different single one, if you want to read them yourself. 14 individual companies with the different details of what's going on. They are on its Truth Social. The big one is Japan, just because they're a larger trading partner than the other 13 that was already posted about. Japan calls Trump's latest tariff salvo regrettable as nations scrambled to deal with fresh deadlines. So they're calling it regrettable because right here, I know it's a little bit small. We will charge Japan a tariff of only 25% on any and all Japanese products sent into the U.S. So 25%, they don't stack to what's already there, as in 10%. So it's not now 35. This is just replacing what's already there. This is just one example. You can read it if you want, but this is the big news that came out yesterday, and it's kind of where things started to accelerate in their sell-off at 12:15. Then we got more later on around 2:15, and that's where it got hit, and then we bounced because people are like, well, maybe we are overreacting a little bit. So that's the skinny on yesterday. Obviously, today coming into it, we're going to have markets really react. We're seeing the overnight session. Things are improving, so people might have obviously overreacted yesterday. With respect to major macroeconomic events, there's not much going on today. In fact, this is one of the quietest weeks we've had in a while. Starting next week and really for the remainder of July, it speeds back up. But in terms of like big macroeconomic data drops, this week's going to be a quiet one. Nothing really going on today. Tomorrow, we get the 10-year note auction and the FOMC meeting minutes. And then on Thursday, the normal initial jobless claims and the 30-year bond auction. So consider those things for Wednesday and Thursday. But Monday, Tuesday, Friday, all pretty freaking quiet. Now, if you want a cheat sheet for all this stuff, that's exactly what the newsletter is for. macros.locals.com. My mod will drop it in chat. It's in the description of the video. I break down what's going in the market. I give you a cheat sheet of both the major macroeconomic events, earnings when they are them, and then also just the seasonality. I do want to let you know today Tuesday, July 8th. Over the past 27 years, the bulls have won this day 59% of the time, so a 9% edge. But you can see when they win, it's just basically neutral. Like for many years, this day from a seasonality standpoint, this individual day was nothing special. Then for about 2 years, the Bears were better. Then the Bulls were better. Then the Bears came back, and now the Bulls like a slight edge. But from a seasonal standpoint, it is more so neutral. So with that in mind, it just means I'm not really necessarily taking seasonality into account today. Yes, I know this general season, the first 2 to 3 weeks of July is very bullish, but I'm just saying this like individual day, nothing too special. But with that being said, there are two things we should pay attention to. First of all, Captain Condor is back. Captain Condor, call credit spread at 6260, big gamma nodes right there. And then the put credit spread is at 6190, big gamma nodes that my head is blocking down here. So these are basically, as of right now, the set bounds on the day. Like I said, due to seasonality, due to my perceived market's overreaction yesterday, I think the high probability path trade of the day is a test of this call credit spread. We're currently trading at 6237. I'm looking for a test of that. You take down your 20 points, whatever. You go buy yourself a coffee. You move on with your life. You don't overtrade. Is that a guarantee? No, but I think it is a better likelihood than not that we do touch the upper end of this call credit spread. Highly recommend you put that on your charts today. On top of that, these are all my key levels of the day. As I always do, I mark out the previous high, low, and close. And then obviously we have the chop zone. The larger white box is the extremes of that Captain Condor, the Iron Condor play. This colorized box is like a smaller delta and gamma transition zone. So we kind of have one embedded within another. Those don't always happen, but it is what we're seeing today. And then the yellow lines, the golden lines, whatever you want to call them, those are the major open interest levels of the 0 DTE. So as of now, we are scheduled, if we were to open now, 6237. That's roughly where my cursor is. So basically right in the middle of the embedded transition zone. So I'll be looking for that push, ideally out of the gate up to 6250. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of profit taking there. Most likely a knock, maybe a higher low, and then a push to the upper bound of Captain Condor. I don't know if that's going to play out, but in my book, that would be a perfect A+ play. And then from there, if Captain Condor is getting blown out, and we've seen that play get blown out many times before, I'd be watching 6275, and from there, my reach target would be 6,300, albeit I do think that's very unlikely on the day. On the flip side, if the Bears take control, we could get knocked down to the closing value, just a test of green to red. Then the breakdown of the first transition zone is at 6225, and then from there, we're talking 6,200. In more of the medium term, as long as we are holding 6,200, I would very much argue that the bulls are fully in control. So not necessarily, well, it does obviously count for the 0 DTE, but I'm even talking for like your multi-day, multi-week swing position. As of right now, based on how the option structure is set up, I would say as long as we are currently holding 6,200, the bulls are fully in control. So that's pretty much your breakdown on the day. The market's about to open. Like I said, I am already in a position. A perfect market open for me would be 1 to 2 minutes of a big pop right to the upside, because that would obviously allow me the freedom. Why is SPX? They're doing an extra lag now. Anyway, it's going to be opening right here. I would love minute 1 just to be a big green candle, because then that would allow me to get out of my position, lock in my gains, and move on with my life. And then maybe throughout the day, we're going to get a bit of a better understanding of how to use this DOM tool, the depth of market, seeing the sitting sell orders, seeing the sitting buy orders, all that good jazz. Actually, it does look like there's some orders right here. So I wonder, I mean, we're going to watch this together very quickly, but I almost wonder, but then there's these sell orders. I'm so curious of how this looks. So once again, this is the DOM, the depth of market, sitting sell orders up top, sitting buy orders down here. I'm curious how this looks right at market open. I've never seen the opening market auction and the insanity that we have. This is going to be a first for me, and maybe it's going to be a first for you, but we're about to open. We're a couple seconds away. Does it just go absolutely haywire? That would be kind of my like initial guess here. All right. Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. The other thing that you're seeing on the chart here is these bubbles. The bubbles are just a sizable amount of trades either being filled on the bid side or the ask side. So the ask side is going to be green. The bid side is going to be red. It just kind of shows either bullish or bearish aggression. So if you're hitting the bid, you're going to get drawn all the way down. So that's why it's red, red, red. And then you see some buying right here hitting the ask. And like it's a sizable amount, which is why the green bubbles are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So aggressive trades going through on the ask side and now quickly switching back to the bid side. So it seems like we are all over the map. So bearish, bullish, bearish, seemingly some support down here at 22920. A lot of just sitting buy orders here, but then there's quite a lot of sitting sell orders all the way up here at 45, 46, 47. So if you're taking this morning push, that might be a reasonable target. At least, like, I just want to be completely transparent about it. This is my first day using it. Well, that was a huge order that just got filled. It flashed for a second, it got filled. That was this pop right here. So, but notice how, whoa, a lot of sitting orders coming in right on top. Interesting to see how this, like this ends up working in real time. All right, let me switch it back to this for a second. VWAP is all the way down here at 20. All right, let me move this over. Most tremendous market show on YouTube. Thank you. Have a cup of coffee on me. Alex, that's so incredibly kind. I appreciate that. I hope you're crushing it today. All right, so we opened up at roughly 6,230. Obviously, pretty much the closing value. Technically, we did open in the green at 6,229. We opened right above yesterday's close. Maybe it's getting pushed right back down to it. The 5 minute is bearish, 10 minutes bearish, 30 minutes bearish, 5 minutes bearish, 10 minutes bearish, 30 minutes bearish, all as of now. I do want to remind you, obviously, the market just opened and we're technically on the green side. Oh, Avago getting hit. We have Tesla making a run back to 300. NVIDIA getting a bit hit. Apple, I'd rather that at 213. Meta, 720. Coin got a nice pop out of the gate. So Tesla and Coin, first 2 minutes of the day looking pretty good. Overall market, we've seen better. We've seen better. All right, let me reload this so you can see the options flow. So this is kind of interesting because now not only do we have the options flow, but we also compare that together with the depth of market. We compare that together with the depth of market. Yeah, so minute 2 went a little bit crazy. We saw all those orders come in and then a heap of sitting sell orders on top. That was a bit crazy. That was definitely a bit crazy. We are now below VWAP. Minute 1, 2, 3, 4, red, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Well, yeah, basically lower highs, lower lows. I wonder if at a certain point, the dip buyers are going to come in. And if they do come in, can we actually capture that? Is that the point of this tool? Can we? So right here, you have all these sitting orders. Remember, the darker the color, that's an increase in the amount of sitting orders to buy. Like these are just sitting buy orders, limit fills. And even here, you could see this dark red. There's quite a few at 12 that I guess just got taken out. They could be spoofing, theoretically. That is an illegal practice. But yeah, you have quite a few sitting orders at 905, quite a few sitting orders at 902. Yeah, the deeper the colors are, that means there's more and more sitting orders on that side of it. So if it's below it, sitting buy orders, on top of it, sitting sell orders. So like right here, I see all these sitting buy orders, and then the sell orders are up as of now at 35. Obviously, this is extremely dynamic, and it's going to be changing every single tick out of the day. But in terms of does it bounce or not, see, that's an interesting interpretation because you see those sitting buy orders. So technically, if it goes down and hits it, could you interpret that as bullish or bearish? I mean, if it keeps going, obviously that's bearish. Maybe the utility of the tool is for the reaction right after. So obviously we are clearly coming up to support. Not only a key psychological level of 22,900, but right here, like we just see a big spike, which is not that like crazy. I mean, that's exactly what you would expect. Ooh. Someone tried, that was deeply red for a second there. So we just went in, like you could even see it. This is where it was historically. A bunch of sitting buy orders, just got taken out. So I wonder if the utility of this tool is paying attention to those levels and then paying attention to right afterwards. Like all of a sudden, see this giant red, like it just sold it. But now if we start to bounce back out of it, is that then just support? Like all of a sudden you're like, okay, watching, you identify a key level, and then you're like, okay, do we break down or not? And then all of a sudden, green. Huh. Interesting. Well, we'll keep paying attention to this. Could be a cool tool. Maybe. I'm always down to try to learn something. Like I said, if you're in chat and you're a person and you're like, dude, I am a Bookmap lover expert. If you think there's like a good video I should watch, if you think there's a good way I should think about the tool, I am down to learn. I am by no means an expert on it. Like I want to be very transparent about it. This is my day one effort. The company, I've been talking with them for a little bit. They were highly recommended to me from some other companies and actually some other creators as well. So I figured, you know what? When in Rome, why not give it a bit of a try? SPY selling off to the closing value from yesterday. That's naturally a reaction point. Wouldn't mind if we just quickly bounce off of that at all. In fact, that was the first green bar we've seen all day on the 1 minute. This is the first green bar we've seen all freaking day, folks. All day. And then the momentum's now bearish. All right, I would love a miraculous turnaround here. Any moment would be greatly appreciated. What's the blue on the chart? The color is, once again, as it just gets darker and darker, that's more and more sitting there. So the lighter the color, there's less orders sitting there. It's just a heat map of the sitting buy or sell orders. So it's the DOM, it's the depth of market. And I believe it is the cumulative across all the major books. So those orders, like we've all done it before, you could have a sitting order, but you could move it. So just because something is like a hot zone at one point, that doesn't mean that the traders have to necessarily let it sit there. They might let it sit there. They might pull it when price is coming. They might add more to it. You just don't know. Well, here, it looks like we're about to have a reversal. I just want to visually see how this plays out. I want to know. So we saw this break right here, lots of selling, and then it popped, and then we saw green. I'm not seeing much support below right here. There's just not many sitting orders. There's sitting resistance up here at 22915, and then I see support here at 2289594 at the bottom. So they're back at 900 as well now. So some orders are coming in at 900, offering a bit of support. But like I said, they could get filled. They could add to it. They could pull it away. Just because you have a sitting order does not mean you are like required to like let it sit there. And I mean, at least out of the gate, it was cutting through this support like it was nothing. But it looks like 15,915 does appear to be, some people are either trying to short there or they might be getting out of their longs. You don't know. Just a sell is a sell. You don't know if they're selling to open or selling to close. Just a sale is a sale. And right now, a bit more range bound. But I'm seeing dark colors flash closer and closer, which I would have thought meant resistance, but we just popped into it. Yeah, this is getting darker. So it seems like 915 is going to be a big battle. So if you're playing NQ in like a day trade, a scalp trade, something like that, if I were long right here, I'd be praying for that breakout, but I definitely wouldn't be creating a long position at that level. But now we see massive support at 900. So it's once again, but it just cut through it. Really cut through it. This is the second time we've tested this level. And this time, seems like some support's coming in at 90, but the question is it going to break out of it? Yeah, I mean, look at that. It was so deeply red, and it just sliced. And then this 915 is getting more and more red. So in the event that we bounce back up, that feels like it would be a big breakout level. And there is some support being built here at 90, 88, and then also 85. But thus far, the action this morning has done nothing but slice through all of that. Yeah, maybe a potentially failed bounce off of the closing value. Sold, bounce, lower high. Tesla was looking good, got clearly rejected at 300. Actually, even coin, the things that were looking good at market open are now no longer. Oklo is even getting sold. Nvidia is getting sold. AMD is getting sold. Avago's maybe turning it back around. Candles on shrooms. Yeah, it feels like it. All right, maybe we have some buyers in here. A second test. I kind of just wanted to visually see what this looks like in action. Okay, so it didn't. Granted, it sliced through the first support, but support, hold, and then a series of green. So is that the trigger? Is that how we could use it for our own trading? Is basically pay attention to support, and if it keeps cutting, stop, like don't do anything. But then right here, you see a little bit of green, you go long, you use that as your risk, it's minimal risk, and then you just pray for the continuation. Oh, another interesting thing is see how they pulled these orders at 9:15, so it's no longer deep red. That sitting order has actually disappeared. They removed it from the DOM. Interesting. Interesting. All right, here's the options flow thus far. The SPY down, up, down, potentially swinging up. Mag 7 pretty much just down thus far. Granted, we're only 11 minutes into the day, but I'm thinking that might be the bounce opportunity as we somewhat, albeit not perfectly, but we somewhat put this together of support, ran right into this support, couldn't crack the second one, and then a series of aggressive buys. A little bit of a hit, another series, and now that resistance that we saw at 15, perfectly now at 20. A lot of sitting orders at 20 and 26. Interesting. It does feel like we're watching candlesticks on shrooms, though. See, this is all aggressive selling because they just keep hitting the bid, hitting the bid, hitting the bid. We have some buying stepping in. Is this going to be our first higher? Okay, so I would say that's now, well, literally as I was trying to say that's support, but it just got taken out. But see how quickly we had that sitting buy order come in? And now we have another buy order at 900. So there is some higher support trying to be built right underneath price. But it seems like 20 is serious. Like that is probably the most red we've seen all day. Oh, there's a lot of red. Is support coming in? That was a lot of red. All right, let's see if it could take out 20 because we saw something come in below price that got filled, and now we're right away seemingly running up to the next level. You guys thought watching like the minute chart was bad. This feels like I'm fucking losing my mind. Feels like I'm losing my mind. There we go. So, okay, we just took it out. So if there could be follow through, I guess we're now watching 26. That's where my cursor is up here. So it took out one resistance. Some support is being built a little bit higher, weak support. It seems like there's more support at 900 flat. So we took out that 15 resistance, the 20 resistance, and now there was resistance at 26, but that, oh, did it come back in at 20? Here's what it looks like on the S&P 500. Major resistance on ES at 6283. 6283 feels like a major breakout point. There's quite a bit of sitting sell side orders there. 6283. So if you're playing this little pop, maybe not the craziest idea to front run that one by a little bit because there's a lot of sitting orders right there at 6283 once again on the ES contract. Well, that just got fucking clapped again. I do like this double bottom, though, off the closing value. We sold up, kind of a lackluster bounce, double bottom, 940. If you took that long at 940 on this recapture somewhere between 941, and you're just risking either the candle low or that low, I think that I would argue that's a good risk-reward trade. Obviously, no one knows where this is going to go. It's a little bit counter trend, to be fair. Just because the 5-minute at that point was bearish, the 10-minute was bearish, the 30-minute was bearish. So it's a bit counter trend. I find that your life is far easier when you're trading with the overall trend. But hey, if you have those cojones of steel, that play like seemingly worked out. The old cojones of steel. Let's see. Yeah, 20. 20's been a bitch. All-time high was made on Thursday of last week. Yesterday was a bit of a red day, down about 0.75%, and the market participants lost their mind. Oh my God, why are we crashing? What in the world is happening? What in the world is happening? Why are we going down? What the fuck? It's what the comments felt like yesterday, even though we literally just hit an all-time high. Any news coming out today? No, not really. Today's actually relatively a pretty quiet day in terms of scheduled macroeconomic data. There we go. SPY going for it. Like I said, if you're watching, is there a way where I could go half and half? Is that possible? Is that a thing? Anyway, quite a bit of selling here at 6283. So that feels like a major breakout level. That's a lot of sell side liquidity. So if you're watching ES right now, we're trading at 82. We're a point away. Let's see if it can slowly but surely chip away at those orders for a breakout. Because if not, we ain't going higher. So it's literally trying to chip away at that order right now. Will it do it? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. Well, that's actually pretty crazy. So in real time, we saw it before, goes right up to it and actually causes a little bit of a hit. Obviously, we're in a very, very zoomed in small time frame. So I don't know. Oh, but then there's even more sell orders. The sell orders just got moved to 82. Dude, if this gets rejected here, it'll be kind of impressive to see it play out in real time, but it'll also make me super, super sad because I very much would prefer that this does better. I would very much prefer. Yeah, it did. Fuck, dude. Ran right up to those sitting orders. Try to get going again. They moved this up, but now we have buy orders coming in just below. All right, this is starting to get a choppy mess. There's quite a bit of buy orders here, quite a few sell orders, and that's in a really, really tight range. How's the NASDAQ looking? Fuck, dude. NASDAQ's getting clocked. But a lot of sitting buy orders at 900. That is support. And then those sell orders are up here at 20. So, like, we're just stuck in that 20-point. You either got to wait for 20 to break or for 900 flat to break. The SPY having a better pop. It seems like ES, if you're watching ES, 83 is important. Pretty much a new intraday high is where we have a lot of fighting going on. Tech is, even though it started off stronger today, it has now performed much weaker. Much weaker. Where's Bitcoin at? Bitcoin recaptured 109. I would love for that to push up to whatever, 112. Let's go for the new all-time high. Oh, options flow. Here you go. Mag 7 pretty much flat as of now. The SPY is trying to get going. It's the Mag 7 and the NASDAQ that's not doing anything. It's not bullish. Look how flat it is. And then what's weird is we're also not only seeing that in the options market, but we're seeing that in the bands of the sitting sell orders and buy orders. We're banded by 20 and 900. Interesting to see the agreement between two different things, the DOM and also options flow. While on the other side of this, you could look at this. Uh-oh. Hello? Hello? Fuck. Did my computer brick? Shit. Hello? Mom? Am I back? Anyone? Can you guys hear me? Mom, mother, madre, mother. Am I here? Everything just froze on me for a second. Earth to chat. Am I here? We're here. Can you see me? Can you hear me? That was weird. That was an event. Dude, we're having a bit of an issue. We're having a bit of an issue. Up, back. Now they moved it up to 85. But then there's support here at 80. Support there at 80. Interessante. It feels like the ES one is a little bit easier to follow, but Resistance at 85. That is lightening up a little bit, and then quite a bit just below 87. 86.75. That is very red. Very, very red. Well, now it's getting really red at 84. Trending up, though. But that's a lot of red. But then support is coming in at 80. Support at 80, but more resistance at 84. How's it look on the NASDAQ? Kind of nothing. Just sideways. We still have a lot of sitting orders at 900, but this 920 is still resistance. And now there's even more resistance coming in at like 21, 22 up here at like, this feels like a bitch of an area to get through. Yeah, you can kind of just generically see it. Kind of in no man's land. Support at 900, not the most below it, but a lot overhead. Like I'm just visually seeing way more colors popping off overhead right now. And then when I pair that together with the amount of overhead bullshit here, feels like it's going to be quite the battle. Quite the battle, especially when the Mag 7's not doing anything. The NASDAQ's not doing anything. The SPY was trying to get going, but then starting at 948, we're taking a bit of a hit. Uh-oh. We might be getting led back down. Jesus, that just got hit. Technically, from a price standpoint, still range bound, but looking at the options flow and looking at all those sitting sell orders up top, Jesus, doesn't make a man the most optimistic right now. Doesn't make the man the most optimistic. Matt, I got my Apex payout approved. There you go. Boston Symphony, old Steven, getting his first Apex payout, folks. Round of applause. I believe it was 2K. I don't know, whatever it is. Congrats on your first payout. What a battle. What a battle. Boston Symphony, old BS as we call him. He's kind of proof. He was the living model of doing small little, like 2 different trades per day and just like very, very consistently making roughly the same amount of money and bringing it across the finish line on Apex. Proof it works. Proof it works. Did he retire in spirit? What's going on in the market? All right, we're still looking for this breakout of 84.85. Oh, look at that. They all left. All those orders left. We're looking to take out 26. But all that deep red, gone. Well, also on this, to be fair, it got pulled from both the resistance and the support side. But I'm seeing colors pop up here at 26. So 926, you might want to be paying attention to that. The SPY, potentially a higher low, maybe a little 1 minute valley setup right here. That's not a bad deal. Same thing on the Qs, actually. If you took that first trade here at 940, obviously I would say that your stop at worst should be break even. Why risk money anymore? And then you could have taken that trade on the Qs as well. Obviously your risk is still a little bit farther away, but if we were to pump and take out a new intraday high, that's when you might want to go to break even and take all your risk off the table. What do we have going on? Meta's a bit green. Looking at all the green guys, all the green goblins. So Nvidia's 159. Palantir's getting hit. It was green though. Apple could definitely do better. All right, we're starting to wake up a little bit. Here's a look at the options flow. So the NASDAQ went from the low of the day, pretty decent pop. Looking at the Mag 7, a nice upward trend since 942. So slow but sure. And really it's the SPY that's giving us a fighting chance. So a higher low in the Delta reading. And more specifically, it was call buying, then call selling, then call buying. Not too much movement in the puts. So this is seemingly a call trade dominated movement right now. And let's see if we could get this follow through. The Qs are trying to follow through. This is what, oh, look at that. Are we going to break this wall? This is like the fucking Great Wall of China up there. Jesus. I'm seeing orange, folks. I'm seeing orange. What in tarnation? That's a lot of people trying to get out. A lot of people trying to get out. Why would they do that? Are they just trying to ruin our day? How does Apex work, Matt? Oh, I have a ton of videos on it. Check it out in the description of the video. But literally, I have like of an entire video series on like what is sim funded trading, how's the easiest way to pass the test, an explanation of the rules that might confuse you, the strategies I use to be successful on Apex. Like there's an entire video series on it. You can't miss it. It's in the description of the video. Matt, can you show the NVIDIA heat map? No. Like you can do it, but I'm not. That's just too much. It'll be too much busyness, bouncing between everything. But it is like theoretically possible to bring it up. Like it's the same thing. You're just looking at the depth of market. I just have it right now set up for futures, but you could also do it on equities. Okay, we got a higher low, but we also might have a lower high here. So let's see. I would prefer that the SPY breaks above 621.52 before breaking below, because right here, let me size it up for you. This is the lower high as of now, but this is the higher low. Lower high, higher low, that's consolidation. You have to kind of be patient and wait to see which way it breaks. While the Qs actually kind of had a triple bottom off of 52 and some change, and it is pushing that high right now. So a little bit of a switcheroo where the SPY was stronger, and now that's consolidating, and now the Qs are stronger while the SPY is consolidating. So a little bit of an old switcherooski here. Let's see what the new hour brings. The 10 a.m. flip, we're going to see kind of a flurry of trades. That's in about 3 minutes and some change. Let's see if those people decide to be bullish or bearish. What else is moving today? People are saying SoFi. SoFi had a good push out of the gate for about the first 5 minutes. Now a little bit more sideways, but up 7%. Oklo, it had pre-market movement was good, but kind of lost it in the first, 10-ish minutes of the day. Palantir, what else? What's moving, folks? What's moving right now? Meta, Tesla, Bitcoin. Tesla's having a decent movement. Meta bounce back. Nvidia's flat. Netflix is getting hit. Coins down. MS. What's moving, folks? What's moving, folks? No, those are all boring ones. Uh-oh. Qs are getting hit in real time right now. Mag 7, what's happening there? What is happening here, folks? Uh-oh. Panic. Panic at the disco. NASDAQ options just got hit. It was call selling. It wasn't someone buying puts. It was someone getting out of 0 DTE calls on the NASDAQ. Let's see. So it's not really necessarily bearish, but it was definitely a lack of bullish to get out of those calls. Why would they get out of the calls? Well, maybe we just have to be patient for the next 2 minutes and see what happens at the turn of the hour trades. BBI, your fave is up big options wise. That doesn't really mean much. I still think your thesis is incredibly stupid because you made money on a different stock, but trading with a similar mindset, you then think that you're going to make money on this one, a completely different company. I'm going to tell you this. I hope you make money on this one, but I also hope not only are you just absurdly lucky and make money, but I hope you refine your trading strategy, because if you keep going with that methodology, you're going to end up losing all your money. You're going to like the idea of, hey, I bought a dip on a different stock, so I'm going to buy a dip on this stock because buying the dip in the past worked on like somewhat of unknown stocks. It's not like you were buying the dip on like Microsoft. You were buying it on arguably an unknown stock. That's just incredibly dangerous, like wildly dangerous. I hope you make money. I hope you make a lot of money. And then I hope you take that money and trade it with like an actual trading system, an actual like good approach to the market, and not like random fucking guessing. MSTR and coin divergence go in the exact opposite ways. Well, I don't think the divergence in them really is like that's like they're wildly different. Remember, MSTR is kind of going to be associated with Jesus. All right. I guess the Qs are going for their low value. It's going to be more correlated with Bitcoin just because of how much Bitcoin they have. But remember, on top of that, you have to consider some of the influences of their actual treasury technique and what it means for the levels and the debt. So it's not going to be like a one-to-one correlation with Bitcoin. It will be a closer correlation to Bitcoin than Coinbase. Remember, Coinbase's business is going to be more so based off the popularity of trading crypto and signups to the platform. It's not just going to be perfectly pegged to like what Bitcoin is doing. So I would argue that a divergence between MSTR and Coin, like if it's massive, I might find it noteworthy, but just a whatever divergence literally wouldn't mean anything to me, like at all. Just like they're complete, like what is going to, the supply and demand that moves those company stocks are, it's going to be based on something very, very different. Shit, I wish we watched that. I'm trying to watch the extremes here today. I want to see, like right here, sitting by. So it took it out, and then we bounced. Like, I'm wondering if the best way to use this tool is when it takes out these areas, if it quickly reverts, if that's the trade, almost like a counter trend trade, because then your risk is well defined at what that low was. So for example, we took out the sitting buy orders right here, all red. We took it out, it bounced, took it out again. So as soon as you see this bounce, I wonder if like that's the best way to use this, because I'm thinking it's counter trend. So you might have certain people getting trapped. You have well-defined risk, and then what? Do you just ride it up to the next key level? So before, where there was major support at 22,900, that's now obviously resistance. I wonder if that's like a viable technique. I know I'm like just kind of thinking out loud, but basically you're seeing all those orders either get filled or they're pulled, but regardless, like they're leaving the DOM. And then as soon as you see it, so it just murked it. But then you could argue, well, what's the real difference between buying right there and buying there? Maybe you have to almost wait for a second impulse or something. But pretty much all day, the overhead resistance has just been dropping, which sentiment-wise seems to be a bit more bearish. But also we're just seeing that in price with lower highs and lower lows. The SPY was looking a bit better. But all that craziness kind of happened right at 10. This is 9:59.30. Started selling at 9:59.40. So 20 seconds before the turn of the hour, a little bit of a bounce. And then exactly at 10, there was more selling. And we tried to bounce out of it. And there is some support being built right here. But will it hold? Because really the story of the day is that we just keep slicing through it. Just slicing through all these sitting buy orders. We had a little bit of a shot for a second here. It seemed promising from 52 up to 56, especially because that was, but now the SPY is getting hit. The SPY went from being the stronger one to now being the weaker one. But right here, that was a beautiful bounce from 40 up to 48 on the SPY. And then, like, I even showed you that resistance. We just, like, there wasn't enough to get through. I think the bulls play right here of what they're hoping for is overreaction on the SPY and a double bottom bounce off the closing value from yesterday. So right here, see how at 940 we sold off to the closing value, bounced a little bit, got hit, and then bounced. Maybe you have the NASDAQ bulls looking for a similar situation, selling to the closing value, green to red test. We bounce a little bit, and then hey, if you're taking it. And I'm not saying I really like this play today, but I'm saying if you are taking it, at least stick to your risk. So if it does get busted, like you're taking a paper cut trade and you could like move on with your life and not blow out your account. But I'm wondering literally if what we saw between 934 and 940 is what we're currently seeing between 10 and 1003. Like pretty much this play out, but I wonder if that's going to happen here. We'll find out. Time will tell. Ooh, options are not looking bullish. The Mag 7 is more flat. It's choppy. It's messy. But the SPY went from looking bullish to a little bit choppy. And then right here, starting at 958, you could just see the delta was just getting pummeled. Lots of call selling. And then actually at 958, you even see some put buying. So the speed of it went 2x. It went 2x. But I should also remind you, this is data of the first half hour of the day. The first half hour of the day, folks. We have a lot of time left in the day. This could easily just be like, easily be a dip buy. Easily be a dip buy. I would say the Mag 7 is choppy sideways. I would argue the SPY Delta Flow went from bullish to bearish. The momentum is definitely bearish. The 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute bearish. 4-hour is bullish. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, all bearish. So that's not so good. That's not so good. All right, I'm just cleaning up some of my alerts because they've already gone off, unfortunately. Yeah, from a momentum perspective, the bears are in control. But, hey, you never know when momentum switches. We've all seen when Tom Brady was down by, 25 points? What was it, 28-3 against the Atlanta Hawks? Momentum switches, folks. You never know. Please comment on BMNR. BMNR. Yeah, a dog shit play. BitMine Immersion Technologies. You're talking about a stock that was absolutely nothing. It's going to be a pump and dump. Blockchain technology company which engages in industrial scale digital asset mining equipment sales. Folks, we've seen charts like this before. 99 times out of 100, it ends in disaster. If you are chasing this now, you are asking for extreme pain. Oh, Atlanta Hawks, my bad. Falcons, that's on me. But if you're chasing this now, that's just a stupid play. I mean, we've seen this before. We've seen that exact chart so many times before. Or what's that Chinese company? I thought it was HDK. What the fuck was that ticker? It started with an H. Someone helps me out. It's 3 letters. It's H. It went crazy for like 5 days. But yeah, it's a wait, you're chasing this now when in the past it's done the same thing and it ends in disaster and they had to do a stock split to not get delisted. It's a pump and dump, dude. It is a pump and dump. How is our other Chinese company going? Dude, this stock does not stop. You can't have bad news if you never report any news. HKD, thank you. This is another one. It's going to look the exact same right here. Technically never went this high. I believe this was because the stock splits. Maybe it did, but regardless, look at pump, ends in disaster. You've seen it a million times. And I'm telling you, if you think the one that you're in right now in real time, but you're like this time's different. It's not like the other 99 examples we've seen. Dude, it's not different. Yeah. Well, Luckin Coffee, they were caught actually committing crime, lying about their stuff. But we've seen it. So this shit like BMNR, like it's just, I don't know. I kind of get sad about it because I just know so many retail traders are chasing it and it's going to end in disaster. And then you could even talk to them and be like, oh, I know this one's dangerous. But I just, and like, it's like they almost can't like help themselves. They just like, they're like, you explain it to them and you're like, hey, here's like 15 other examples of this ending in disaster. And they're like, no, I get it. Like, it's dangerous. I'm not going to touch it. And then they do it. And then they get blown out. And they're like, ugh, what? Didn't HKD exceed the market cap of Apple for a few seconds? No, it didn't. It went crazy, but there was like a misconception of how many shares were out there. So the market cap was, I saw that on social media, the market cap was not being computed properly. Bro, it's a Tom Lee thing. I highly doubt Tom Lee is touching that company. You're saying Tom Lee's touching BMNR? Well, that might be why it's pumping, I guess, if people are... I find it very hard to believe that Tom Lee is fucking with BMNR. I might be wrong, but generally he does more well-known equities. That's why it's going crazy. Yeah, no, actually, you're 100% right, but that's why it's going nuts, is because now his name is associated with it. The company plans to raise $250 million to become the MicroStrategy of Ethereum, amassing one of the largest public ETH treasuries. So it sounds like they're doing an ETH treasury the way Saylor did a... Wow. I mean, that's why it's up. But once again, now that's already based. Like, that's already in the news. So why would it keep going because of this? You need another development. But when something runs that much that quickly, there's no better sign of something you shouldn't be touching. It's already got, you missed the move. So many people are willing to put their money into a move when it's already over. I actually find it crazy that he's joining it. I don't know. If you got exposure to it, I wish you the best of luck. That seems hyper dangerous, though. That percentage move in such a quick time. And it seems like it's not even ironed out. It's not like they're officially running the treasury yet. They've just announced plans to do that. So what if it falls through? That stock's going to go back to like zero. So it's raised $250 million. This allows Tom Lee to build Ethereum treasury. So it hasn't actually done it yet. Bitmine announces a $250 million private placement to implement a buying strategy around Ether, which it aims to make its primary treasury reserve asset. Lee's appointment comes amid a groundswell of interest from traditional financial institutions around stablecoins, many of which will run on the Ethereum network. Doesn't this just kind of feel like bubble-esque? Like it worked well for one company's strategy, and now you have all these other companies chasing it? It feels like it's just everyone's chasing. That is a crazy move, though. It is always insane. Like, I'm not going to put my money into it, but I do appreciate those types of narratives to see how quickly things can just like FOMO and go nuts. It just blows my mind. Remember when people thought AMC could go to 100K a share because Berkshire did? LOL, wild times. Yeah, just because the retail traders following that, the people who were saying that are actually stupid. Like, legitimately stupid. There were arguments that AMC was going to be trading at multiples of the entire U.S. stock market, dude. They're like, dude, 100K a year. There was a period in time with AMC where creators had to, someone would come out with a video of like, yo, it's going to $1,000 a share. And then the next person had to say 10. The next person had to say 100, then 250, then 500, then $1 million. It was insane. And I'm very, very proud to say that I never, ever made an insane video like that. In fact, I actually never even made a price prediction video where I gave out an exact value. Like, I was always in the camp of ride the trend as long as the trend's intact, and as soon as the ride's over, take your money and move on. There's many videos where I said that, and I never one time was like, this is where we're going, because I also mathematically appreciated that those types of call outs are like actually fucking insane, like truly insane. And yet people did it all the time. 100K, 200K, 500K, $1 million. And like, they would like, what were their contorted arguments? It would be shit like along the lines of like, oh, it's already trading at this price in the dark pools. Like, they just made shit up. And then people watched it because it backed up what they wanted to hear. It's a very, very dangerous game in the world of financial content creation, where you have so many people seeking out what they already want to hear. Generally, it's kind of a backwards process where people make a position and then they try to find data to support the position that they already made, rather than having no position, taking in all the data, and then trying to make a wise decision. So like right now, we were just talking about this yesterday. Why is XRP, why is Ripple content so popular? Well, because you have so many people in it because they got involved in this like meme craze, and now they're looking for some sort of mental bias to reason out why it's good to do what they already have done. They're not there to like come up with an opinion. They're there to like literally have their bias already backed up and regurgitated to them. And like, it's just a super dangerous way to engage in the market. If anything, you should err on the exact opposite side. You should actually only be seeking out thoughts and opinions that go adverse to what you already did, to see if your original thinking and thesis actually holds any water. But we, at least in the retail community, get it completely opposite. What did I miss? I heard a song this morning and something about a list, and I told you so. Feelings? What, Brian? Is that English? I was there for naked shorts. Yeah, the whole naked shorting thing. At one point, someone tried to make a coin that like was just tied to the AMC stock price, and they're like, yeah, because there's so many coins, that proves that there's naked shorts. Like, they just made up shit. Just made up shit, which I don't know. We're not going to ever be able to change the mass psychology of retail traders and investors. So all you could do on an individual basis is survive the marathon of trial and error, realize what works, what doesn't work, and stop doing the things that don't work and start doing the things that do work. You're in this for you. You're in this to improve your own bank account, your own financial health. Don't just randomly follow the crowd. As addicting, like, it's interesting in here when I hear people like, yo, they're talking about it, like they're doing this, and it's a very much a crowd following type of thing, which is also interesting because most people in retail know that 95% of retail loses money. So if you're doing what if in a general sense you're doing what most people other are doing, the stats say you're going to lose your money. Does Bookmap allow you to see real-time double short ladder attacks in the dark pools? Is that a premium feature? Yeah, unfortunately, it's a premium feature to see the double ladder attacks, double short ladder attacks in the dark pools. But they do have it, which is interesting. I've used it a lot. That's actually how I've managed to lose money today, by not appreciating the super, triple, quadruple, 360 spin short ladder attacks in the dark pool. People love their confirmation bias. Of course, you see it in the market. You see it everywhere. You see it in politics. You see it in education. You see it in sports. Like, that's just like, for whatever reason, our little monkey brains have evolved in a way that, like, we just are very, very susceptible to crowdthink and bias. Like, for whatever reason, and maybe historically it was an evolutionary advantage that, without thinking about it, if you reacted quickly the way others did, like, let's say you're a monkey in the Serengeti and a lion's coming and one monkey sees it, so he starts to sprint, maybe without thinking about it, it might have been an evolutionary advantage for you to also sprint away. So mimicking what you see the larger community doing, I would argue probably at one point in time actually had a survival benefit. So I think there's certain aspects of trading and politics that we literally have to work against our own brain wiring. Actually, I would argue that there's many aspects of trading specifically that we are working against our own brain chemistry. Someone said that the war in Ukraine started to distract us from AMC. Oh, it did. That's proven, dude. I mean, I know we're talking about a lot of conspiracy theories, but that's like well known and well documented. That, like, we all know that Putin, the president of Russia, old Vlad, was short AMC, and he had to invade another country to just stop his short position from blowing. That's like, everyone knows that, dude. Everyone knows that. The retail traders, the world needs ditch diggers too. Shh, they're watching. Yeah, dude, they're on to us. You know, it's actually a crazier thought than... I think it's actually more insane than this concept of Russia invaded Ukraine to stop AMC. I think it's more insane that people at any point in time ever thought Trey was a good trader. I mean, there's just something about certain people in this world that when you hear them talk, when you hear them act, like, you just tell they're as dumb as a fucking box of rocks. And they thought that that was a guy who had, like, specialty insights to taking down some of the most advanced, sophisticated players in the entire market. Like, dude, he's our guy. He knows what's going on. It's fucking insane. It's absolutely insane. Surge, LOL, Arby's always had Surge when I was young. Dude, we had an Arby's growing up. Those fries. Is Arby's out of business, or is it just the Arby's in my area? Did you ever have balls? BAWLS. No, I've never had balls. Is Arby's still like a functioning company? It might just be the one in my hometown that shut down. I just remember those fries, those curly fries were like where it's at. Or Arby's is there. Dude, do you think the FDA has ever looked into Arby's meat? Dude, I'm pretty sure that they're using chemicals and preservatives that are not known to man. I think if someone did like an actual empirical study of the preservatives that they put into Arby's, I bet we would find something that like just blows our fucking mind. There's no way that stuff for that meat is like above board. There's just no fucking way, man. Mag 7 down, SPY. It did get hit. Try to bounce. Looks like a lower high. I guess you could wait for this pivot point to see, do we have a lower high here, or are we just A, B, C, and D, and we vomit and make a fresh low? 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute bearish, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute bearish. I do want to remind you that Captain Condor's in play today. The bottom side is 6190. The top side is 6260. 6260, 6190, 70-point range. Currently trading at 6225, so pretty much smack dab in the middle. Actually, exactly smack dab in the middle. But we are in the bottom of the smaller transition zone. So there was a decent amount of open interest playing at 6225. So we overshot it. We bounced. This might be a higher low. This might be an interesting opportunity to play here. If you're bullishly biased, if you want to play the recapture, we went from green to red. We might be going from red to green. It's a tough play because you are now going anti-momentum. You are on the bottom side of the 5, the 10, and the 30, on the bottom side of the 5, the 10, and the 30. But you are playing it off a technical level. So if we take that out, it would be a new series instead of going from lower highs and lower lows. If we were to take that out, that would be higher highs and higher lows on this particular time frame. But it looks like the market is not loving that. Not loving that whatsoever. Not loving that one. Microsoft getting hit. Here, let's clean this up a little bit. Let's clean this up a little bit. Let's see what we have going on. I mean, if we could take out this 10-15 high, it might be the dip buy of the day. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's a little bit dangerous. The big players aren't doing much. You could see yesterday how the big players were pretty much selling all day. So that was a telltale sign that being bullish yesterday was a brutal one. But right here, they're not moving much. It's slightly like the most baby bullish. It's a reading of 106, where yesterday we got to negative 68,000. So like it's neutral, maybe slightly bullish as of 10:22. So even though the market's getting hit, the big players aren't necessarily selling through this. Tesla's catching a bid. Mag 7, SPY. It might just be another choppy bullshit day like we saw yesterday. We might not really have anything that's like serves as like an impetus to keep us going. Arby's owns B-Dubs, Sonic, Dunkin', etc. Arby's owns them, or the same company that owns Arby's also owns them? Arby's bought Pizza Hut? Who owns Arby's? It's Inspired Brands. Arby's is owned by Inspired Brands and so it's not that Arby's bought them. There's a larger conglomerate. They own Arby's. I mean, it looks like they own a lot, but it's not like Arby's is the owner. Where did you get that Arby's bought Pizza Hut? Probably Inspired Brands did. Arby's is the top of the chain. It is Arby's. Inspired Brands is an American fast food restaurant backed by Rourke Capital. It owns Arby's, Buffalo Wild Wings, Sonic Drive-In, Jimmy John's, Dunkin' Donuts, and Baskin Robbins. $32 billion in system sales. Holy guacamole, Batman. That's a lot of dinero. That's a lot. Well, Matt, they have the meat. They have the meat. Well, for a second there, I thought we would recover, but looks like the bears are keeping the momentum downward. You have Tesla green, you have Nvidia green, and pretty much everything else is red. Pretty much everything else is red. Tesla trying to fight back to 300. SPY is about to make and it did. SPY and Q's just made a fresh low, continuing this trend of lower highs and lower lows. The NASDAQ is down. Mag 7 longer dated looks worse. SPY just got hit. There's that hedge wall at 6220. We did have that marked out right there. We broke that. Obvious support coming in at 6,200. I don't know if there's really much in the way to stop this fall all the way to down here at this point. I don't know if there's much in the way. Holy free hole. Wow. Well, we don't need this one anymore. Definitely lower highs, lower lows. So intraday price structure, bearish, lower highs, lower lows. Intraday momentum, bearish, bearish, bearish. Arby's, I should call her. Well, fuck, dude. Oh, fuck. I forgot. I'm still in that position from 7:30 in the morning. What the fuck am I doing? Why am I still in this? I was not thinking at all. I got too excited looking at all those like colors on the one chart. Yeah, no, I'm still in that. It hasn't blown out yet, but it's actually very close to blowing out. So I need some sort of miracle recovery. Or do I just cut it and flip? I completely forgot about that. Completely forgot about that. It's 7. I've been in this for 3 hours. I just got so tied up looking at all this with you guys. Oh, but right there, they bought. Completely, I feel like an asshole. Wow, that was really stupid of me. Now I am actually legitimately relying on a miracle recovery to get out of this one. What the fuck was I doing, team? I blame it on you guys distracting me. I blame it on all these fancy colors and my brain not appreciating. Yeah, I need actually a miraculous recovery to get myself out of this one, team. Oopsies. That one's my fault. This is why I shouldn't be trading in pre-market. This is why I should just wait and hang out with you guys. We're cutting through summary. We just took out resistance in the high 60s. Granted, we have a patch of sell orders right here between 75 and 77 that I don't think is going to be the easiest to break through. And even at 80, patch of selling. And there's not many patches of buying. People are aggressively trying to get the fuck out of this thing. Selling at 71, 75, and 80. And I'm not seeing much willing buying right here. Not seeing much willing buying. Holy free holy. What are we doing? I have no real reason to think this besides pure confirmation bias. And I'm like, dude, just need this 1024 to be the low of the day. And I need an amazing V-shaped recovery to get myself out of the pickle that I backed myself into today. That was very silly and exclusively my own fault. And I'm fighting, I'm fighting everything. I am fighting price trend, momentum, and options flow. Folks, why am I doing this to myself? I'm making today so absurdly difficult for no reason. I think any objective view of what's going on in the market today would actually say do the opposite of what I have right now. Matt, so cool how your stuff is set up where you can watch the orders. Seemed like a super great idea. What? Where you can watch the orders? Oh, the sitting orders on the Bookmap thing? Yeah, it's just the DOM. So if you're trying to look something up, search DOM, DOM, depth of market. Obviously, it's very dynamic. Like people put in orders, they pull orders. You could do market orders. Market orders aren't going to show up because that's just sitting buy orders and sitting sell orders. So it's just another tool. It's like another piece of information, like anything in the market. Nothing ever exists that's the end all be all. If there was something that was the end all be all, the first guy who made it would be like, they would have never shared it. They would have just been making all the money and they would be very, very quiet about it. Yes, the flow. It's not the flow. It's sitting orders. The flow is better shown by something like Spot Gamma, where you can see the options flow. This is not flow. This is literally sitting orders. It's not someone is trying to sell how many ever at 22,883. Will they let it get there? I have no idea. We're going to find out. You can see sitting sell orders, sitting buy orders. It is not flow. I would assume there's quite a few at 900. Not as many, but yeah. And this is actually kind of an interesting real-time look at people and psychology. Like, there's really not that much more special of 900 versus 901 versus 899, and yet people play that just because we're drawn to these like exact levels, that type of a deal. But actually some of those orders just got pulled and moved a little bit closer. We're seeing some resistance actually build up at 95, 96. They just got pulled. But yeah, it is interesting to see how like the systems and other traders and really the mixture of everyone reacts in real time. Actually very, very interesting. Interessante, Batman. Interessante. But yeah, 900 literally at resistance. Actually, the resistance is getting stronger. Let's see if it could break. If it breaks, that's a legit breakout. It's a legit recovery. But we'll see. I'm just seeing this get deeper and deeper colored. People are trying to get their bounce profits out of that one. I'm almost wondering if I should get out of my position because like at this loss, it'll suck, but like I at least have a fighting shot. If we go back down to where we were, I'll lose my accounts. So I don't know if I should take on the risk of riding this back. Okay, I'm going to let you guys decide. Do I get out now, suffer a loss, but at least have a fighting chance to keep trading these accounts? Or do you think I should just fucking ride it and like, nope, go for the profits? Just go for the profits. I'll let you guys be my financial advisors. What do you think? What do you think? Cut bait, bail out. All right, so the first two people voting on Rumble obviously are not degenerates, but that double down, roll with it, ride it. I can't double down because if it goes a little bit against me, I'll blow the fuck out. It'll be very, very painful. Risk it for the biscuit. Let us choose so we could yell, so you can yell at us later. Oh, that's exactly what I was going to do. Once again, this is capitalized gains, socialized losses. If I do well, it's all because I have a massive brain and I'm an amazing trader. If I do poorly, it's because you guys gave me bad advice and we will be splitting the bill evenly. Earlier today, remember how we saw a lot of that sell resistance at 915? Guess where it is? 915 and 920 once again. Big pop there at 1030. Tesla got a big pop. Maybe I'll get lucky. I don't know. I can tell you that it was a dumb fucking trade. There was a good trade here at 939. There was an all right trade here at 1012 that wouldn't have worked. And then there was a good trade here at 1030 that as of now is seemingly working very well. Seemingly working very well. Apple going green. I like that. How is Apple looking? Apple getting a nice pop. Meta, Nvidia, Tesla. So Apple and Tesla catching a bid. Okay, so what happened? What happened? Yeah, dude. This looks horrible. What have I been doing? So there was somewhat of an argument to go long here at 943. Maybe you got in, maybe you got out, probably got clipped. Then there was maybe an argument somewhere in here. But I'm riding on pure luck at this point, folks. I'm riding on pure fucking luck. I need this breakout at 25. And then I need this breakout at 40. And then I need this breakout at 50. I need 3 breakouts in a row at actual resistance just to be back to break even. Isn't that conceptually fascinating? We're so fucking back, dude. Hell yeah. Praying. Thank you. Joaquin, not the Joker. Matt, as a fellow Cats Rule the Earth tarot card owner, ride it. Thank you. Someone understands how we predict the market in here. Resistance at 25, but now we have support building at 15. So what was resistance is clearly turning into support. Actually, that means if you get a little bit of a dip, oh, we just took that out. You in real time just saw that. That was pretty cool, actually. But is there going to be follow through? Because if we suck all that liquidity, there was enough buyers, but not enough to have a follow through. But support coming in here at 20. So we broke, we got smacked. And now there's buy orders that just got taken out. Uh-oh. And then these guys disappeared. Yeah, see how we ran right into it and boom. I guess if it picks back up. Okay, so the more, and granted, I'm running this on 1 day's worth of data and I'm kind of firing from the hip, so please take what I say with a grain of salt. It feels like one way you could use this tool is identify these like massive heat map areas. Wait for the breakout. In this case, it's a breakout, but obviously vice versa. Wait for the break, they'll pull back, and if it does recover, that's the trade. It feels like that would be the trade. So maybe another way to look at that is here. Let me show you on the 500 tick. Well, this is actually really, really zoomed in. But we broke. Yeah, so you wait for some sort of pullback. We battled. We pulled back. So you could take that long and you risk this low. So you have well-defined risk. You took out resistance, the smack, and then the follow-through. Matt definitely has a hard on watching this new system. Well, statistically, that's not a useful statement because I always have a hard on. So whether it was a new system or not, like I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm just also saying technically that's true at any point. Technically, that's true at any point. Big guys aren't doing anything yet. The big guys have been quiet all day today. Vanquish, you got me addicted. Vanquish is awesome. I love Vanquish. But what I would like more is if this keeps going because I need money. I needed this, like I said, I needed a miraculous recovery just to not lose my accounts today. The fact that I'm getting 100-point bounds just to be break even means I'm trading like dog shit today, dude. Dog shit. Insane T levels. Thank you. I get it from stair stepping. The women in the audience, feel free to agree or disagree, and I know you're most likely going to agree, but dude, at the gym, there's nothing more hot than a dude just crushing the stair stepper. Right, women? Right, ladies in the audience? You're at the gym, you're crushing it. You look over and you see some guy with buns of steel crushing 200 flights while jamming out to T Swift. Dude, there's nothing. That guy is literally a walking embodiment of testosterone. There's no way you wouldn't be attracted to that. No way. Slap a de balls. Matt, you trend? Dude, my body naturally produces trend. Past my apex with that one breakout. Good stuff. Good stuff, J-Mac. J-Mac passing. Boston Symphony getting his money. Buns of mush. Buns of mush, more like it. Right, women? That'll get them womenkind. Yeah. I don't think that's offensive. How else should I be referring to the XX chromosomes in here? Womenkind? Ladykind? Gals? Another live session from the Stair Stepper in the near future. I'm actually thinking I should quit finance content and I might just start doing life tips on the Stair Stepper. Life tips with Matt Kohrs. And every single day, half hour to an hour, we're just on the Stair Stepper and I just give out random, unsolicited life advice. Really, really strongly thinking about a pivot in the content. Really thinking about it. Matt, I thought you were going to name your show The Next Bar. No, someone suggested it, and it's phenomenal. It's absolutely, absolutely phenomenal. Women. Matt's building is a walk-up. It is a walk-up. Actually, it's not. That's a lie. I don't know why I lied to you about that. Sorry, you are right. I went long as he did. I haven't gone long on the show, so what? Why are you lying to people in the audience? That's not nice. You're saying you went long when I did? I haven't gone long on today's show. I came into the show with a long position that I forgot I had, and now by a pure market god miracle, I'm almost back to break even. I need advice. I don't know what to order at Texas Roadhouse. Oh, easy. Fat margarita, all the buns you can eat for the app, half rack of ribs, some green beans, and then either mashed potato or sweet potato, depending on which one you like more. You could also name the music channel The Next Bar. You don't like Tendies and Tunes? That new song that came out today that you guys all like so much, it's up on Tendies and Tunes, so make sure you check out that channel and subscribe to it. All the music that we play, we give it out for free. Just make sure you're on the right channel. Matt, you know how many more views you would get by just changing the title to Next Bar, like as the traders always want to know the next bar? Yeah, I would probably lose them very quickly, though, when they realize I have a shitty personality. I think you're right, and that would bring more people in. They're like, oh, that thumbnail, that title, that intro, it's all like creative. The guy's artistic. Let me check it out. So they would come here and then be like, but he's kind of a fucking dick. And then I would lose them. So I think initially it would spike the views. And then I would lose them. So it would be a high-risk opportunity. High risk, low reward, high risk. Those are my favorite types of setups. How far can Tesla go? Dude, if this isn't at 400 by the end of the day, it's because of the dark pools. Artistic or autistic? Both. Did you call your mom today and tell her you love her? No. I have not. But it's also, I feel like in the time that I would have done it, it would have just been really early. Oh, I was so close to being break even. All right, so the SPY options flow, big pump from 1026 up until 1038. Mag 7, same thing. Big pump from 1030 up until now. Yeah, there's prices coming down, but the options are actually still looking pretty good. The NASDAQ is actually floundering a little bit more. All right, let's go to this. We still haven't gotten the initial balance breakout. That's kind of what I'm waiting for today. The IB breakout, the initial balance breakout. The 5-minute is trying to go bullish. The 10-minute is trying to go bullish. And the 30-minute testing. We might be seeing the mid-morning reversal here, folks, if it can actually get above and hold. On the NASDAQ, the 5 minutes attempting to go bullish, 10 minutes attempting, 30 minutes testing. So early today, we were like very evidently in the red. But this pump is enough that we might be switching momentum. We might be switching the intraday trend. I'd like to see some fresh highs here. We'll see. I think the bulls have a fighting chance. If you stop being a dick, you will lose most of us. I know. That's my biggest fear, is if I ever start being nice, that I'll lose all my viewers. I got myself into a horrible situation where I started being mean, so I lost some. And then the only people who stayed were people who liked me when I was mean. And now if I start being nice again, I'm going to lose all of those people. So I basically just got rid of my entire audience. Your dad wants to know if you checked the oil. I need to. Actually, folks, my car is making a weird sound when I turn to the right. Do you think it's a CV joint issue? Do we have any CV joint experts in here? Is that the hot? Like, I don't think it could be my brake pads, because I recently got my brake pads fixed. So, according to ChatGPT, the most likely thing is my CV joints. But then that brings up a question. What the fuck is a CV joint? You know? No! What the fuck was that? What is going on, dude? As per yesterday's letter sent to various countries, in addition to letters that will be sent today, tomorrow, and the next short period of time, tariffs will start being paid on August 1st. There has been no change to this date, and there will be no change. In other words, all money will be due and payable starting August 1st. No extensions will be granted. Thank you for your attention on this matter. That one little true social update is what just caused that. Fucking dude. I hate this headline-driven environment. Like, how can we do anything? You know? How can we make any smart news? Yeah, so if you're wondering what literally just happened on that 1 minute vomit that caused all that to go crazy, it's right here a minute ago. Donald J. Trump on True Social. Probably the robots are reacting to the fact that he said, in addition to the letters that will be sent today, tomorrow, and the next short period of time, as in more are coming. The market's probably like, oh shit, we thought 14 was like good enough. Ugh. Golly. Come on, bounce back. Be a fake out. Y'all voted for this BS. I did not vote for CV joints. I didn't even know what CV joints were until I asked ChatGPT. I honestly, to this point, they still might be made up. I'm not 100% sure. Come on. Higher, low. Bounce out of it. Let's see these options recover. They're a little stable now. SPY's attempting to bounce a little bit. We have all this fucking hecticness. A lot of buying at 900, 905, 910. A lot of selling up at 25, 26. Son of a gun, dude. That's right above where we are. They just won't let the kids play. I'm starting to think the market is intentionally against me. Like, just my positions. Like, it knows what I'm doing, and the market's like, we were going to do that, and then we realized that Matt Kohrs is playing it, and now here we are. Make CV joints great again. Well, I'd like to make mine great again, so I don't hear this fucking clicking when I turn to the right. Oh, brother. Can't we just all agree to buy one day or to all sell? Like, I get that collusion and all that stuff is bad when it's like a certain group of people deciding to do it. But what if the market at scale decided to do it? Like, what if every single trader and investor in existence said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go long. We all win. I get if it's a group and it's like a group of hedge funds doing one thing or another, that's probably breaking the law. But like, are they going to really persecute every single trader in this world? Like, why can't there be like a global bull holiday and a global bear holiday where we all just decide to do the exact same thing. I don't know. I feel like sometimes my thinking is beyond its time, you know? Just a short holiday and a long holiday. One day a year, everyone goes long, even to the point that like exchanges, you don't even allow selling, like literally just take away the sell button. And then the other day, you're only allowed to go short. You don't even have the buy button. Like just, we're all in cahoots together. The Congress is in on it, Senate, House, executive branch, the Supreme Court, regulators, across the globe. I think we all just need to be in cahoots together. Who decides when to sell? We just pick a holiday. We pick a day. Apple's going on this. Apple's loving the fact that more tariffs are apparently coming. Jesus, dude. Not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. Fuck, dude. We're right at 900 on NQ. I really did have visions of grandeur that this pump was going to get me out for break even or maybe even my profit, and I would survive a disastrous trading decision. But it feels like this is going against me. Feels like it was just enough for the market to give me hope, and then it took that hope away. It took my hope. It saw the twinkle in my eyes, and it ripped it out of my eye socket. The market's like, oh, Matt, congrats. Congrats. Oh, my God, it might work. You're going to make your money. Your stupid decision, we're not going to punish you for it. And then, wrong. You fucking suck, kid. Welcome to the real life. Welcome to the real world, buddy. I have a short on Texas Roadhouse mashed potatoes they've made from boxed potatoes. I opened it at 17x leverage. Well, you're probably going to lose all your money betting against Texas Roadhouse. It's a silly thing to do. How does one make a trade without buyer and seller? Don't you need both parties to make a trade, or am I not understanding something? Of course you need. How else would you make a trade without both parties? Of course you. Are you guys really like debating the nuances of my pitch that there should be holidays where you could only buy or sell? You're now trying to do like a real market structure like analysis of if my craze, like I literally was pitching that the entire world should collude together, and that's like what's tripping you up. You're like, Jesus Christ, dude. That's insane. Fascinating. Fuck. This is going bad, and this is going bad quick. Shit. So, to be fair here, if I do blow out, I never had the opportunity to get out for break even. I was about 10-ish points away, maybe 8-ish points away. This is going bad, and this is going bad real quick. Like, hyper quick. So, the Qs just hit a fresh intraday low. The SPY was off by like a cent. Yeah, are you still close to break even? Do you not see the charts? Are you fucking blind, Mike? Literally, we hit a new intraday low, and your question was, am I still close to break even? When on the pump, I was getting, like, we're arguably the farthest away we've been from it all day. And your question was, am I still close? I don't, like, are people actually, I hope it's trolling, because it would be scary to think like that if people are actually that stupid. But what's weird is it wasn't really like that. I mean, I've been here enough. I get trolling questions. That wasn't trolling. Like, I have a feeling that was like a legit question. And then that's more scary, because that means that if they're watching this show, that means they have money in the market. That's That's dangerous, folks. So you're telling me there's a chance, pretty much. Oh, man. This world, it scares me. The lack of intelligence, critical thought, second order thinking. It scares me. I'm going to be honest. It really scares me. LOL, I'm about to lose on 3 TPT Pro accounts. Well, I hope you don't lose. I don't want anyone to lose. I mean, it really is difficult enough to be a retail trader. I'm not going to like root against you. I hope you too have a miraculous recovery. Truly. Damn, we just full tripped it. Look at this. So from 1024 to 1039, we went from the low of the day to basically the high of the day. And then from 1039 to 1051, we went right back to the low of the day. This is what happens when you're battling it in this chop zone. So we have a chop zone embedded in another chop zone today. There's a larger one because of Captain Condor, and then there's a smaller one just because of the option structure itself within the Captain Condor setup. So no choppy. Like we're just full tripping it. Full tripping it. This is fucking nuts. I like legitimately hate these environments because there's nothing we could do in terms of solving the puzzle that is the market, in terms of like paying attention to option structure and momentum and options flow and that type of stuff, like the gamma, vanna, delta influences. This is like literally just a game of headlines. Headline trading is so stupid. As much as the market is just normally distributed, like a whatever percentage chance, and it's all about like, okay, even if it's 50-50, can you identify like a higher reward to risk setup and do those time and time again? This is so dumb for the, like, I mean, I guarantee you there's people out there who just got absurdly lucky by this pump, and also people who got blown out, and then vice versa. Moments later, people who made a lot of money on that reversal, and then people who got blown out. And it's all just because of random shit that we cannot model. We cannot predict. Generally, that is true in a short-term type of a thing anyway, such as just scalp trading, day trading. It's just, if anything, it's probably better to take advantage of noise. But I would actually argue since going into April and the market just being so incredibly sensitive to what Trump either is or isn't saying, it's just gotten way worse since then. It's just like, we cannot do any mathematical analysis of this whatsoever. It's just, you don't know when headlines are coming out. You don't know what he's going to say. You don't know what he's not going to say. Obviously, there are a couple tactical things you can do to protect yourself. Be patient and wait to get into times of low risk, and be very, very good with your stop, and just move your stop to right where you need to. And like, hey, if it gets hit, it gets hit. Obviously, this is proof right here that if you're trading over leveraged, or if you're trading it without a stop, it could get dangerous, and it could get dangerous real quick. It's a very, very difficult environment. It's normally difficult, like the math of the market itself. It's not the most difficult to understand, but it's also not the easiest thing to understand. So that in itself is like a tough one. But when you add on this, that we can get a percent movement, like in April, we were getting multiple percent movements just because of announcements. It's insane. Actually played both on the way up and down. Felt predictable action to me. It is definitely not predictable. Definitely not predictable. If you think this was predictable price action, like truly, and you were saying that with any accuracy, in a matter of like a couple weeks or months, you'd be a multi-billionaire. That's one thing that retail commonly gets wrong, is because they get something right once, they think that means it's forever, perpetually right. So then before you know it, they see a similar setup in the future, and then they bet too much. But really, you're roughly going to be within a 40 to 60% accuracy. Are we in quad witching right now? No, quad witching, not all the time, but 99% of the time only happens on Fridays. The only time it wouldn't happen on a Friday is if Friday was a market holiday, but pretty much all the time it's exclusive to a Friday, and it only happens on the quarters of the year. So the last one we had was June, so the next one's going to be September. But there's quad witchings don't happen on a random ass Tuesday in the middle of July. Worth mentioning, though, I still have swing puts from yesterday that I'm down on. I think playing yesterday's puts was a very weak play. We just had an all-time high, and the stats, and I'll agree with you that the stats are stats, but it's not like we've collected all those stats when we're in the middle of a trade war, so of course there's going to be some variance to it. But what we do know about all-time highs is it's clustered with other all-time highs. So if you had like a graph that just had the dates and then where we're hitting new highs, they all are clustered together. It's not like we hit a new high, take a breather, hit a new high, take a breather, hit a new high. When we hit new highs, like from a time basis, they're clustered together. New high, new high, new high, new high. Then you don't hear about highs for a bit. New high, new high, new high, new high. Then you don't hear about new highs. So because of that, that's why it's so incredibly dangerous to buy puts upon just hitting a new high. Obviously, you're going to be able to find counterexamples of that. Nothing that anyone says in the market is like perpetually 100% true all the time. Of course, you can find counterexamples of like, hey, no, if you bought it on the first time of a new high, it peaked from there. Like, of course. But I'm saying, speaking in like the higher odd plays, because remember, the market always comes back to the higher probability pathways. It is a higher probability pathway to actually bet on a continuation than it is on a reversal. Yep, there seems to be a continuation for all-time high pumps. Yeah, 100%. So in this case, if you bought puts because you thought maybe your personal interpretation was that this tariff news is actually worse than the market's anticipating, maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. That comes to you and your own luck and your own ability to understand the macroeconomic global impact of these trade letters. So like I said, I do not pretend to be some sort of PhD economist or anything like that. So if that was your interpretation, hey, have at it. As long as you respect your risk, like you might be right, you might be wrong. Obviously, there's been a bit of vol decay and time decay, and really today's just choppy. Like I, as much as we're seeing craziness in the very short time frame right now, we're also inherently still just dramatically bounded by Captain Condor. We have the call credit spread up top, we have the put credit spread down below, and we're just stuck in that gamma zone in between. So as much as we're moving seemingly quite a bit on the 1 minute, the 3 minute, like that type of shit, as soon as you look at the 30 minute or the hour, you're like, oh, actually, we've kind of done nothing, especially the 4 hour. The 4 hour, we've done nothing. So it looks insane on the 1 minute, the 5 minute. But even by the time you kind of get to the 10, yeah, you see some movement, but you're like, as much as yesterday was a bust day, as of now, I would argue tomorrow is also somewhat of a bust day. Like, just not the most going on. Now, things can change. As you saw with announcements, things go haywire. They obviously can go haywire. Oh, I'm thinking, should I just get out at this point? Fuck, dude. So before, that's down 2K. I can survive a 1K hit. It's not pretty and my odds go down, but I definitely cannot survive a 2K hit. So it's more of like, and are we going to get rejected at VWAP? So the 1 minute just got rejected at VWAP. But I'm strongly considering throwing in the white towel and just surviving to fight another day. Oh. Or what time is it? It's 11. Is this just like a small pullback and we're actually like, we pumped so hard, then we got rocked, we're pumping again. I mean, even 30, that's 20 points, that's a $400 hit. I can make that back in a day. Even right here, if I get out, I can make this back in 3 trading days, which seems a lot better than just like restart. Trump is about to speak. Do we have links for that? Do we have links for that? Let me see if I can find a stream. Let me see if I can find a stream. Let me see if maybe is it the local, maybe Fox News. Fox News. All right, so I'm finding this. Oops, sorry. I need to bring this back up. I'm finding this right now. It was supposed to start at 11. It's 11:04. Watch live. Trump holds a cabinet meeting. Bloomberg Business News Live. Here's one for the AP, just in case one starts before the other. All right, market's definitely getting a little bit frothy out there. A little bit frothy. All right, we have two streams. Obviously, he is not talking yet. Oh, Trump. Is he going to pump my bags? Is Trump going to pump my bags? How many times can I full trip this? Hey, folks, if you haven't already, check out Apex. Remember, this is the last day. 80% off. You have basically till tonight. Use that code Goonie to get the discount of 80% off. I don't know what the next deal is going to be. So right now, to take the test on a 50K account, it is dirt cheap. Like about $33, $34, 80% off. Ends in 16 hours. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Oh, how do I want to handle this? Okay, so this might be a little bit of a VWAP recapture. If anything, this should be my first trade of the day. If this 1 minute bar, as it just did, close above VWAP, go long there, risk the recent low, and try to ride it higher. Like, if I were a good trader, which I'm not, this would be my first trade of the day. Like, this should have been my first trade today. Maybe you could have argued here at 10:34 before we had the news. It pumped up enough that you probably would have gone to break even, and then it stopped you out at break even. So maybe this is your second trade of the day. So either whether it's your first or your second, I should have waited for this to happen. And even that, if I bought this breakout, like that was a nice pump. Like right here, that's a very reasonable trade. Unfortunately, you would have been wicked out at 10:46. Then wait. Pumps all the way back up, goes long right here. So first trade, break even. Second trade in at maybe 914, risking 94. So you're risking 20 points. If I were a good trader, that's what I would have done. If I were a good trader. Jesus. All right, I'm marking out the intraday low and choppy. Apple's going up. Mag 7, like it pumped, it dropped, it pumped. We're just not getting a trending day. Pump, dump, pump, dump, pump. Like it's just whipsaw galore right now, folks. Whipsaw galore. Honestly, we're just getting pinned to the closing value from yesterday. That's this white horizontal line at 6229. We're just pinned right to the green on the day, red on the day, green on the day, red on the day, green on the day. Basically, we keep just dancing around that line. Oh, as of now, they're selling quite a bit of selling resistance at 22930. If we can bounce back up to that, that's a huge resistance level. Not seeing the most support below. But if we grind up, yeah, watch 20, 25, but I'm seeing a lot of selling. Lot of selling at 930 as of now. Obviously, it's dynamic and it can change on a moment's notice, but right now, there's a lot of people trying to sell, whether it's to create a short position or get out of a long position. I could just tell you there's a lot of sitting sell orders at 22930. Wow, what a fucking jagged whipsaw mess. What a mess. All right, the 5-minute try to go bullish, then got smacked. It's once again testing. Same thing with the 10-minute, same thing with the 30-minute, same thing on NQ. 5-minute try to go bullish, smacked on that news, trying to recover. 10-minute attempting to try to recover. And 30-minute battling it out. It's a choppy bullshit day, folks. Don't try to make this something that it isn't. Not all days are created the same, and this is just, as of now, another bullshit pump, dump, pump, dump, pump. It's tough. You still think Cardano is good? No, I haven't thought that was good in years. I like to actively trading it back in the like altcoin pump cycle, but that is not an accurate breakdown to think that I've thought it was bullish in any measurable amount of time. AG Secretary Brooke Rollins affirms Trump admin will not seek. Fuck, what was that? Got some sort of True Social update. Something about illegal immigrants. All right, we are patiently waiting on this to get started. It was supposed to start at 11, but as all politicians are, definitely gonna be late. Well, they're already late. Mag 7 kind of grinding up. This is just not a good day, folks. Not a good day. I would love for the SPY to hold green. I would like it even better to touch 621.5, the high from 1040. Same thing with the Qs. I'm happy that it's holding green, but I would love for it to take out the double top high at 40 and 30 here at 553.50. Apple grinding up, Tesla grinding up. Nvidia is in the green as well, but not actually moving much intraday. We might be seeing a little bit of a VWAP consolidation and then bounce if we can get any reasonable follow through right here. We bounce all the way up to VWAP at 1102, and right here we've just been dancing around. So maybe on this range breakout, kind of like I said, of I should be in at 14. I should have waited for this trade. This should be my second trade of the day. After the first one should have been a break-even trade. I should have gone long here. It pumped on that pump, stopped to break even. Unfortunately, wicked out, not even wicked out, more than wicked out at 1046. So but honestly, even on that pump, I might have even taken my profits because I would have been up $600. So really, I could have captured my profits there. And even if I wanted to ride the trend didn't exist. So like whatever. Then if I decided to trade again, I should have been long here at 14. The minute bar closing above VWAP. I have this range to deal with, minimal risk. And on the breakout in continuation, stop to break even and see if you could ride it. I could have made today far easier than it was. And instead, I am just going for a miracle. Is CNBC doing this? No, even they're not going. What the fuck? What the fuck? Well, gotta wait now. Maybe we'll get this follow through. The crappy thing about this is the farther it goes, we're just getting into the really, not only is it a choppy day, but now it's a choppy day into the choppy time frame of lunch, where we're probably going to start moving like molasses. Who was the last one he sent it to? Bosnia. Thailand. Cambodia, Serbia, Indonesia, Bangladesh. Lots of letters. Fuck. This is just another lower high. The big guys are still not doing anything. Big money, nothing too special on the day. Nothing too special on the day. Just tagged 900. Got a small bounce off of it. Decent amount of orders trying to buy there. Decent amount of orders trying to sell at 10. Like, we're just getting into these tight, shitty, choppy ranges. I said this in the Discord today, but just to reiterate it to all of you fine folk in here today, this is not the day that you're swinging for the fences trying to catch some like big swing. It's just, we don't have the setup that you need to have a big, nice trending movement. It's just simply not one of those days. Don't try to force this day into something that it isn't truly. It's a crappy day. You're going to get crappy days. In fact, most days in the market are crappy days. And if anything, we just have to have the patience to sit there and wait for those nice trendy days and wait for the days that the spire of the Qs look like Tesla does right now. Yeah, it got hit, it based, we popped, and we're just getting that nice grind follow through. Unfortunately, the SPY and the Qs are anything but. Anything but. Well, folks, that might be it. I'm kind of waiting to see what's going on, but like, I don't know, is it canceled or something? Well, all right, that's going to be it for us. I mean, I guess pay attention to this. I just don't. It was supposed to start at 11. Here we are at 11:15. I think it's rude that it's not on time. So probably something worthwhile to pay attention to. Shout out to Apex. Remember that code GOONIE, GOONIE, get you 80% off. It ends today. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. I will update you guys on Twitter, or I'll update you tomorrow on how these accounts go. I still have my one really stupid trade of the day that I should not be involved in. I will fully admit that was just a dumbass trade. And if anything, I'm hoping for a little bit of a market miracle to get myself out of this particular situation. So I'll keep you guys updated on that, as I always do. And then from there, I'll catch you guys today. We'll post some update videos, and then we'll catch you in the stream tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. bright and early. I appreciate all the good vibes. I hope you guys make a shitload of money. I hope you guys already have, and I hope you make even more by the time the old casino goes ding, 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 ding today. And I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.